Spoilers ahead, by the way. Guys, we are talking about a being who can alter the fabric of the nowhere with nothing but a thought. Reality warping abilities, except he doesn't even know it yet. But I do. I've been calling it since day one. The moment that Little Nightmares 3 dropped, I was the first YouTuber to drop a story explain video where I said it first. Alone wasn't real. Lo made her. He willed her into existence, and if he can do that, imagine what else he can bring into existence. Of course, it's not that hard to come to that conclusion by the end of the game, because the devs were pretty on the nose about it, but still, for a while, I didn't see anybody else come to that conclusion, that his power is to be able to will things into existence. So let's run with this theory. Today we're power scaling Lo against Mono and Six at their strongest. Talking base forms, monster forms, final forms, all of it, but spoiler warning, he solos. It's not even a contest. If you like the content, shoot an arrow at the like button. I'm excited. These videos are fun. Welcome to
Little Nightmares.
Okay, first off, to understand how terrifying Lo is, you need to understand the world they all live in. Well, not live in, they get trapped in. In fact, that's another point. Lo is the only one that I know of who escaped the nightmare realm. He's the only one. All the other kids get stuck or get turned into monsters or turned into food. The Nowhere is a horrifically terrifying psychological space, a dream reality built around fear, trauma, and memory. Think of it like the Upside Down from Stranger Things. But kids are more powerful in the Nowhere, more so than adults could ever be. The interesting thing about these kids, like Mono and Six for an example, is that they don't simply escape monsters, they become the monsters. They become these little nightmares, and they bend the world to their will. They break necks with just a look, reshape their environments, distort space and time. We're talking about beings who can impose their will onto everyone and everything in the Nowhere. But what if Lo, Mono, and Six all fought? And Alone also, of course. Just for a second, have some fun. Think about this with me. Let's say it got to a point where, I don't know, they all want to fight to rule the Nowhere, complete dominion. And again, it's not official lore or anything, I'm just thinking hypothetically. But let's start simple and get a baseline. So no powers, no transformations, just Mono, Six, Lo, and Alone, all four of them in their base forms, duking it out. If you saw my last video talking about who would win Mono versus Six if they ran the ones, you know their physical and mental attributes already, so I don't need to go over what they can do again. But I will make a correction about Mono. Somebody pointed out that Mono often carries heavier weapons than Six. He's also older and a boy, so he does have a slight advantage, a slight physical advantage over Six, where Six is more like an assassin. But that is neither here nor there. They both have survival instincts, quick reflexes, and battle experience. But Six has a mental edge in that she is cold, calculating, absolutely brutal when pushed. She eats, she abandons, she survives, where Lo, Mono, and Alone would probably be ambivalent about killing any of the other kids. Six is the only one you could count on to confirm kills without any doubts. No hesitation from her whatsoever. She will, you know what I mean? But then you have Lo with the bow and Alone with her wrench. And I have to point this part out because when it comes to these two duos facing off, Lo and Alone are two peas in a pod, right? They are in sync with one another and they work as a team, fluidly. They're in perfect rhythm. Ebony and Ivory type thing. If Dante from Devil May Cry renamed his dual pistols, they would be Lo and Alone. They move like a unit. However, Mono and Six don't. They are two forces who don't always sync. From start to end, they're often separated for one reason or another. Six shoves people aside to make a run for it and save herself, and constantly runs ahead without Mono. And of course, when things get ugly, well, I mean, we know how their story ends. However, we also have to talk about their weapons. Six and Mono don't often carry weapons, but for the sake of this thought experiment, let's just say Six has a pipe and Mono has his axe. Alone's got her wrench. By the way, about Alone, she's strong as hell, breaking down walls. I don't know if you ever tried to break a wall down with the sledgehammer. It's not exactly the easiest thing. But yeah, she's got her wrench. Lo's got a bow and arrow. Legolas. You probably already know where I'm going with this, but let's say Six and Mono figure out that Alone is just a figment of Lo's imagination. They could go straight for Lo's head. then Alone would disappear. It's a wrap. But regardless of that or not, I still think that Low has an advantage in that he can just shoot them from a distance. He's got that range to keep them at bay or to act as a distraction while Alone goes in for some CQC. There's just too much pressure coming from both of them like that. Or if she wanted to, she could even stay closer to Low, protect him, hold the line while Low pokes from behind. That is if it's an open field, if there's no cover. If there is cover, obviously it might prove more difficult. 6 and Mono could coordinate something, but in this scenario, without powers or reality-breaking feats, the edge goes to the duo who actually fights like one. Teamwork makes the dream work in the nightmare. So Low and Alone take this one. Obviously, if we start mixing forms, things start to change fast, because we have Monster 6, who would, pretty much demolish Low and Alone. One swing from her, it's over. Thin Man Mono could clap him easy. Oh, I also forgot to mention in my last video, Thin Man could actually strip somebody's soul out. I forgot to bring up that ability. But also, Jedi Mono, quick correction, he didn't teleport to the tower. He pulled the tower to him, which is insane. But yeah, speaking of, Jedi Mono and Post Lady 6, those two versions, their final forms, are operating on such a high supernatural level that Low, without access to his true abilities, would be toast, straight butter. Which is exactly why this next part matters, because if Low were to realize who or what he really is, that is when the power dynamic flips entirely. This is what I mean when I say he's an Omega level threat. Imagine this version of Low. I'm not sure what to call him. High Low? No, that's dumb as fuck. Omega Low. There, that works. Omega Low. So just imagine that I am right about his powers and that he can manifest, materialize anything he thinks of into existence at will. Omega Low would be like a Green Lantern, where his limits are only in his mind. But for fun, let's just say he doesn't even have those mental barriers. No fear, no doubt, no hesitation, just pure creative force. He could summon stronger versions of Jedi Mono or Lady 6. I'm just spitballing out his potentials here, but picture massive nightmare monsters powered by his focused intent. He could rip open portals to trap Mono and 6 in endless loop or false realities. He could imagine every path of a battle and collapse all of them into the one where he wins. He could change the battlefield, turn the ground into, water. He could make the sky rain glass. He could mess with gravity. He could make it bright as hell outside so that the Lady 6 has no shadows. He could rewrite the laws of time, kick back Jedi Mono back to before he digivolved. Nothing about him would be fair, balanced, or beatable. He is overwhelming in every sense. So imagine him coming for you. You could do nothing except run. Low's power starts with his imagination and ends wherever he decides. Lil Bro can manifest entities with subconscious thoughts alone, and alone is the proof. And I don't know if you guys even clocked this, but she's not just like some companion. She is legit an independent mind who solves puzzles, fights enemies, and displays her own emotions. She's fully capable of operating by herself. She is her own consciousness. Guys, Low created a whole ass being and didn't even know. Or maybe he did, but I don't know. That came from Low's subconsciousness regardless. If that is the baseline, then his potential is limitless. With full control, Low is basically a god. Reality could be whatever he wants it to be. He is a dreamer without limits. Thought becomes form, will becomes law. He is a god of nowhere. Chat, this ain't even a massacre. Jedi Mono, and especially Lady 6, wouldn't even take 7 seconds for Omega Low to snap them out of existence should he imagine them gone. Jedi Mono is the closest thing, admittedly, to any kind of pushback, but that's just being generous to Mono. Sure, he's powerful, no doubt. He defies laws of physics. He's bent buildings. He pulled the signal tower across miles like nothing. Mono is a monster, but in a 1v1, nah. Omega Low's power is just built different. It's about authorship. Mono warps what exists, but Lo creates what doesn't. Mono manipulates the nowhere. Lo defines it. Mono is a supernatural weapon, but Lo is a living reality engine. The cap potential is too different. It's too high. That's the difference. It's like if Scarlet Witch fought Franklin Richards.